I never imagined I would become a rabbi, and what I really wanted to be was an actor, and I became an actor. The question is, what happened? What happened in between? How did I end up here in Israel? How did I get here? In my wildest dreams, I never imagined that I would live in Israel and become a rabbi with the grace of Hashem, of God, trying to influence many people on social media in many places around the world, receiving so much love, so much affection from your beautiful messages. It's a dream. The question is, what happened? So I decided to make this video, this class in a way, sharing some personal reflections that I think can be very beneficial for everyone. So share them. First, to open my heart and talk to you sincerely. Basically, I decided to change my life at a moment that you could say was, I don't know if I should call it the peak of my career, but at a very good moment. At a very good moment, at least apparently on the outside. I lived in Barcelona, in an apartment overlooking the mountains on the outskirts of Barcelona, a beautiful place. Actor, theater teacher, doing a lot of advertising work as an actor, even a movie. Basically, everything was very good. Everything was very good. I did a master's degree in marketing. That's another area I studied as well. I got a bachelor's degree in business administration. I traveled to Barcelona and earned a master's degree in marketing at the renowned University of Barcelona. Meanwhile, I studied theater since I had already done it in my home country at a very, very important, very renowned school in Uruguay where I was born. And in Barcelona, I also studied at a school. I continued my theater studies at a school in Barcelona. Basically, everything went very well. I worked very few hours. I made very good money for the number of hours I worked. Everything was very good. Now, what I also feel looking back is that the Creator, God, gave me a thirst that my soul started to cry out inside. Everything was fine and there was no problem. With your permission, I'm going to have some mate. For those who don't know, those who aren't from the Rio de la Plata, Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, or Brazil, it's a very typical drink from where I come from. So, yeah. As they say in Hebrew, lirvaya. It's like instead of saying enjoy your meal when someone drinks water or something that quenches their thirst, you say lirvaya in Hebrew. Very well, I'll continue. I never thought I'd know the word lirvaya for when someone drinks water or something to quench thirst. Well, excellent. So let's continue with the story. So basically, I want to tell you all this because maybe it will touch something deep inside you and help you in your personal journey. Because obviously what I experienced is something really particular in terms of details, but it's something very human, very essential in terms of everything that connects all of us as human beings, which is basically the thirst to fulfill the mission one has in life. That's impressive. And today somehow I feel, but I'll tell you more about this throughout the video. But basically I feel that many of the tools I studied as an actor I use today, like trying to be a reference in teaching Emunah, as it's called in Hebrew, studying the Torah, the Kabbalah, or giving all kinds of help in different aspects, relational, emotional, psychological, physical, all kinds. Well, if you know me and you know a little about what I do on social media, you probably know I work on different topics and all of this. I feel that I use a lot, even if I don't intend to, many tools that I studied, thank God, as an actor. But I see this with perspective. So before I tell you more in depth about what happened in Barcelona, which was this shout of Mineshama, which is in Hebrew, from my soul, for a much deeper meaning than what it had at that moment, I understood something very interesting, which is, why did I choose theater? Why did I choose theater? And what I understood is that I chose theater to change the world. I imagined even before at that time when I chose theater, I didn't know the world of the Torah. Obviously, I was born Jewish, but basically for different reasons. My grandparents were survivors of the Shoah, of the Holocaust, from Nazi Germany. They arrived in Uruguay when they were very young. Basically, the chain stretching back thousands of years. Basically, my poor grandparents, they gave us so much love. They also gave us a lot of love for Judaism, but basically, obviously, they were very little. They were very young when the war, the Holocaust caught them. Both of them were. They were slaves in concentration camps being very young, and they lost practically all their family. My grandmother, an only child, lost her parents, and my grandfather lost practically all his family, and they arrived in Uruguay married very young. Well, basically what I have to say about my grandparents, about all my family, is pure praise and gratitude. Thank God, Baruch Hashem. But when it comes to Judaism, the deeper part of Judaism, obviously they didn't have the merit to learn because they were so little, because they were so young. When the Holocaust happened, which, as you surely know, was a huge turning point for the people of Israel, and basically they arrived in Uruguay and started not just from zero, but from less than zero, without knowing the language, trying to find a way to make a living. And well, thank God they built a beautiful family in Uruguay. And Baruch Hashem, my parents, also with a lot of love, taught us a lot of love for the Torah and for Judaism and for the people of Israel, for the land of Israel, thank God. And we have to know that at that moment, basically what we got from the previous generations, as I told you, because of the great rupture, because of the Holocaust, it was like a great rabbi said, it's like the example of a little cup, like a little cup and a tea bag. When you make tea and pour in the boiling water, obviously you see the strong color of that tea with such a spectacular aroma. Imagine a tea, an Earl Grey tea, a loose leaf tea that you like. And basically there's the strong color, the strong aroma, but what happens if you drink the tea and then add water to that tea bag again? Obviously the aroma will be much weaker and the color will also be much lighter. Imagine that person drinks that second tea, adds more water and so on. Obviously, if you do this several times with fresh water, there will come a point where you can't even tell it's tea anymore. It just seems like water. A great rabbi explained this example using the 2,000 years of diaspora, so many persecutions and hardships faced by the people of Israel after leaving the land of Israel. And really, we reached a point where, unfortunately, it's not just about individuals. It's an issue for the entire people of Israel, meaning a great many people among the people of Israel. Obviously, there have always been in every generation great scholars, great tzaddikim, righteous people among the people of Israel, of course. But on the level of many people who didn't have the blessing of being able to study the Torah, they really knew very, very little or only very basic things. Basically, just to continue to the next generation. But you have to know that the secrets of the Torah, the soul of the Torah, unfortunately, until today, yes, really the turning point is rising, but thank God we have the technology that the Creator gives us to really spread what it is. The Torah, the Kabbalah, the secret of the Torah, the soul of the Torah, the beauty of the Torah, that technology is placed in our hands to, as it says, as it is written in the Torah, choose life. Ucharta b'chaim, and choose life, which basically means choosing good. That is a commandment in the Torah, to choose life. The Creator tells us to choose life. And basically, as you know, technology, social media, the internet, it's all one click away. You can have amazing things like the ones we're talking about, what I'm trying to do. Now, telling a bit of my story so that, God willing, I can help inspire from my humble place other people. With much affection, much love to all humanity, to the creation of the Creator. But unfortunately, with just one click, a person can also go to very negative places, and that's where a person has free will to choose to click on life and not on the opposite. So continuing a bit with my story, what I wanted to tell you is that basically, when I chose theater, I basically understood that what I really wanted was to change the world. I basically wanted to be a person who lives for theater. That is, for theater to be a vehicle, as I told you, to change the world. to create plays that really provoke a change of life, a change in the audience. Obviously, this was, as I told you before, I knew Torah, or when I knew very little, but basically, no, I didn't have the Torah as a foundation in my life. But that's what I wanted. So what I understood, looking back, is that what I wanted with theater was basically a spiritual path. It's true, I didn't say, surely this is a spiritual path, but what I remember so much. Well, I also had the merit of studying with such renowned and important teachers with a great love for art and theater who gave me so much. And this is an opportunity to thank each and every one of them. And from them, I really received so much with a lot of gratitude, truly impressive, really. And that love for art, for also for humanity, for doing something good for the world. They gave me that, and I still have it to this day. And God willing, forever, the love for wanting to help humanity, each person in their own way. And at that time, it was theater. And basically now, if I go to Barcelona, I jump a little, just a bit, geographically speaking. When my soul started to scream, it started to scream in a way that said, you have everything and you have nothing. That's basically what I could sum up in one word. Why? Because in a way I had a lot, things many people could only dream of, but not me. I wasn't giving my potential of my neshama, of my soul, I wasn't giving it. I was just going through life in some way. I could do things right, everything was fine, but really my soul was meant for something else. And thank God we decided to return to Uruguay, and in Uruguay the Creator opened the door to the Torah for us. Thank God. And it's also an opportunity to thank each and every one of the rabbis who taught us Torah. There was really a study program for students, for people who didn't know Torah, a spectacular Torah program. Really incredible, spectacular, a beautiful program. And that's basically where I started. I started studying Torah. And like a fish in water, thank God, we continue in that world. But after a few years in Uruguay, I decided that I have to return to my home, which is the home of the people of Israel, which is the land of Israel, with much love for Uruguay, which is where I was born. Of course, but you have to know that the people of Israel are destined to live in their land and be a light to the nations. Obviously, with a lot of love for the place you were born, and again, deep gratitude. So many good people I met along the way in Uruguay and in Barcelona, amazing people. I am grateful with all my heart. But we have to know that in terms of where we should be, the people of Israel belong in the land of Israel. And that is a blessing for the whole world. And obviously that's what I did. And even though it seems simple, it wasn't simple. You should know that in a way I was also a university professor and an actor, and this in a way, in terms of status, you could say I was in a privileged position. And suddenly I decided to leave everything behind, and to come to the land of Israel. Now, what does it entail? What does coming to the land of Israel entail? First of all, it's an amazing blessing. But with that, I barely knew the language. I only knew the basics. Culturally, I didn't know Israeli culture. I mean, obviously, I had come to Israel, but it's not like someone who lives in their own environment. Think about it. As an actor, I was part of society. I mean, I was part of the group of actors. I was connected with the actors, with the big theaters, or with advertising, with the production companies. Basically, I was in the business, as they say. I was involved in that world. I was immersed in that world. It's obviously the language, and besides, I really like Spanish, and I knew it, I loved it. And also classic plays. I did classic Spanish plays. That is, from that to basically being like a child who actually knew less Hebrew than a kindergartner without knowing the culture. And basically starting not from zero, so to speak, but with immense joy, immense hope. Obviously, as I told you at the beginning, being a rabbi and teaching Torah, I never would have imagined it. No, it wasn't really one of my real possibilities at that time either. And thank God I arrived here in the land of Israel. I'm speaking to you from here and just want to share a brief reflection. We can continue this, God willing, in other classes, in other videos, but one of the reflections is that we should think about who we are, because maybe everything in your life is fine, maybe everything is really fine, but the question is, are you reaching your maximum potential? Think about it. Are you reaching your maximum potential? Are you being who you should be, your highest ideal, or not? And think, this is your life, and you need to know that. When I arrived, I had the privilege of working in very, very simple jobs. Think about it, like I told you, from being an actor and all that, and then to very, very simple jobs that someone with very little language skills can do. And with a lot of joy and a lot of love. I did it, of course, but you have to be willing in some way to walk a path together with the Creator, like Avraham Avinu, our patriarch Abraham. When the Creator told him, Lech lecha, go to yourself in some way, it's something very deep. The Creator tells him to go to the land he will show him, which is Israel, but doesn't specify where, only saying, the land I will show you. And Abraham, our patriarch Abraham, started to wander like a child, he explains. Our sages say that, metaphorically speaking, he let himself be guided by the hand of the Creator. He let himself be taken wherever the Creator was leading him. And Lech lecha, go to yourself, that's something very deep. Go to yourself, to the land that I will show you, and that land, that longed for land, that self, that version of yourself. The ideal perfect self you can become if you go towards yourself. Lech lecha, go to yourself. LKH, Lech lecha, it's towards yourself. Therefore, if you go to yourself and really start to reflect on who you are, what qualities you have, what your story is, what you belong to, who surrounds you, who needs you, and something very deep that I want to share with you. We're going to go now to a slightly deeper level, which is, when I say who needs you, obviously you have to think of yourself first. You need yourself, your soul needs you. Your soul needs you to listen to it. Like I told you, my soul screamed. And the Creator granted me the privilege of listening, to listen to this need of my soul. You need to listen to your soul, and of course to those around you, family and friends, at work or school, wherever you are, who needs you. But here we are going to go to a higher level, which is the Creator. God decides to need you. The Creator decides to need you. It is written in Masehet Sanhedrin, in the Sanhedrin tractate. Our sages explain something impressive. It says every person must say, and look how deep this is. Every person must say, the world was created for me. Do you see how deep that is? Obviously, we're talking about this with humility. It's not about me, I'm not the center of the world. No, on the contrary, it's you are the center of the world, just like every person is the center of the world. But it's not from a place of ego, it's from a place of responsibility and humility. The world was created for me. Each person should say, the world was created for me. What does the Creator mean? He says to you in the words I understand, I created this beautiful world so that you can fulfill your mission and perfect it. And that's how He tells each one of us, to everyone. But really, if you think you're just one more among billions of people and you say, well, I'm just another one, and no, you say, the world was created for me. I have the responsibility and honor to perfect the Creator's world, as the Creator gives me this merit to repair His world. Your life can change, that's what I want. And someone thinks that's just one more, thinks like someone who sees by differentiating endlessly. Someone notices ants on the floor and thinks the Creator feels like just another ant, wondering if their actions matter. Each person likely thinks this differently. The Creator says, I moved, and I moved the world. I have the merit of the responsibility to change and perfect this world. Wherever you are in your family, at your job, at your place of study, wherever you are, it could be with a good smile, a good day, or by giving a glass of water. A good piece of advice is to listen to your son who needs you, or your daughter, that is constantly thinking about how I correct where I am at every moment, the world that the Creator gives me. And this is spectacular, and really, literally, it can change your life. Not only can it, it will change your life because it's changing your matrix, changing your way of seeing life. 180 degrees spectacular. So, well, I would love for you to tell me here in the comments what resonated with you. How did it help you? What did it make you think about? What did it make you change? Or what did it lead you to consider maybe changing in the future? I don't know. You don't have to change 180 degrees right now, but maybe it led you to a thought that made you say, well, maybe this is the way to go. Or maybe you really said, yes, I'm going to change 180 degrees in something or in a lot. I'd love to hear from you, at least in written form. Here in the comments, I want you to tell me how it went for you. Also, if you want, I'm going to put different links here in the description. One of them is a link. It's a link to a free audio recording I made to help you find calm, to help you go to sleep calmly. I'm also going to try to remember to put a link for a Hebrew Wisdom Club and for my Israel High community. There are several links. If you want, I'm going to put it here in the description so you can look for information or access this free audio I made. Well, basically, let me know and we'll stay in touch. Thank you very much. If you've already sent me kind messages or shared personal things with me, I thank you in advance and feel free to tell me everything here in the comments. Shalom.